What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Adventures in Drunk Fish Keeping. That is refreshing. Dragon's milk, always a winner. So, if you guys have been watching the channel, you know that I've got the Fishtastic 5-gallon with its built-in micro sump. Have enjoyed this tank. Not saying it's a bad tank, it's just not doing what I want to do for my Nano Reef. So I broke out the 8-gallon cube again. Now I am setting this up. As you can see, I've got my sand in there. I've got my one center rock, and then I've got a floating shelf rock over here, which kind of gives it this nice kind of step down and then to a nice little, archway. Or not archway, but a nice little ramp up on the sand. This particular setup is made by Aqua Rocks. These are all custom and or handmade, and they're set up as a kind of a template. You see this one right here has multiple frag holes in it. It's already got that kind of Carib Sea look going with it, so it's not going to look out of place. It's not like you're putting a fresh piece of white rock in your tank. Really cool. I like these guys. I've seen a lot of stuff they've done. They've done a bunch of cool setups. They've got anemone holders. They've got a bunch of really different stuff. I've been wanting to buy one of these for a while, and I figured why not today and put it in the cube. If you want to see what it looks like on the back of your tank, so these go great on a sidewall. There's not going to be so much view. Back wall of a tank. Got your nice little logo on here. These are nice, thick, hard magnets. I'm putting a considerable amount of pressure on this, and it barely wants to move. So I'd say if you want kind of a cool frag rack or a way to maybe change the look of your tank, whether you put a frag on it or even let a whole colony host on that thing, they got a bunch of different stuff, and this is in no way sponsored by them. It's just Aqua Rocks. I've been checking their stuff out for a while. Finally got one, really like it. Construction's really good, super lightweight, and the magnets are super strong. So I think you can put a bunch of frags on that and or let a colony seed on it and have a really cool tiered shelf and or floating aquascape set up, whether it be on your sidewall, back wall, however you want to do it, to each their own, but it's a really cool product. So definitely check those guys out. They're on Facebook. And they got some cool stuff. So what I'm going to do, basically have got the sand set up, rock set up. I've got a micro heater. And here's a way, and this works for salt and or freshwater, when you want to, say, for example, slowly put water back in your tank, is you take your siphon, put it into your jug, and you've got the squeeze pump right here, and you slowly squeeze in, which I'm going to show you guys. So once you slowly squeeze this in, as you can see, adding small amounts of water. Now I'm even doing this over top of my rock, which, hang on, let me flip around. Maybe a little bit easier to see now. All right, there we go. So you can do this and get a nice, slow addition of water. Now, this, when you're dealing with the smaller nano tanks, this is kind of the way you can top off, water change, or start a new tank without blasting all your sand, blasting all your substrate material. If you've already put plants in, if it's a freshwater tank, this is how you can kind of fill the tank up without blasting everything everywhere. Now, is this a slow process? Absolutely. But will it give you a nice, clean, finished result? Absolutely. But like I said, there's a couple different ways you can do this too. You could even do it with a pump. You could just put it in a 5-gallon bucket and hook it up and put a small pump into it and have, it slowly fill up the tank. So this is kind of phase one of this. I'm going to upload this here shortly. I'm going to have this filled up. Transfer over the clown, the Willeri, and the snail into this tank, and then I'm going to do a breakdown of the other tank and show you guys what I'm going to set up for the filter media, which basically all I'm doing is putting fresh water or fresh salt water in here, grab my filter media out of this tank that's already established, put it in my filter, cranking it up, letting it do the trick. I've got some starter to throw into the water column just to kind of boost it up. But basically a simple, quick setup. If you've already got an existing tank and you want to start another one, and this is probably one of the easiest things to do, is always, if you're thinking like, I'm going to make another tank or I'm going to do another tank, get your biological filtration ready to go by putting it in your existing tank and letting it sit in there for a couple weeks, month, depending on how big the tank is. Let that accumulate and then throw it into the filter of your new tank, whether it be a Nano or a sump, and you can kind of really get ahead on your schedule. Now, granted, that doesn't mean go ahead and put like the maximum amount of stocking in your tank when you first do it, but it's going to help you out on the nitrogen cycle and push you through a little bit faster. So anyway, be pulling this up here in a minute. I'll be posting this one up, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. Should be here in about an hour. Thanks, guys.